Hey everyone, Boone here with Beyond the Brick. We are about to head down to the Lego Vault to see sets from the entire history in their boxes. We're gonna get to look at them. Spongebob is going to join us in just a few minutes down here. Let's check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, what we have down here is all retail sets launched from the mid-60s and until today. Okay. So that's basically it. So the rules are pretty simple. You are allowed to take out the boxes and look at them. Just put them back where you took them from, as in that exact spot. And that's basically it. So you can just browse through. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Should we start at the very beginning? Or are we gonna...
I think that would be, you need to be in agreement, all of you guys, which aisle, because there's only room to open an aisle at the time. So
let's start at the beginning.
I would just start at the beginning and move your way up.
So do we roll these this way?
Yes, for safety reasons, when you have opened, these are locks. If you press them in, then they don't move. So also make sure that's why it doesn't move. That one next to you is locked. Ah. Yes. So now you can move.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Look at all these boxes. It's crazy to see so many boxes. Look at this. You could buy just these classic space plates in a box.
That's so cool.
Do you have that one?
I don't. I wish I did. I didn't get it when it was re-released. Shame on me. I was in college and I had no money, so what could you do? Old flip boxes. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
I remember when you could get this little stuff.
Yeah. There's a little...
Oh, here she is. Here she is. Right there.
This is almost like back when poly bags were in boxes. You know, basically you can...
Holy grail. Right, yeah. I'm going to say that multiple times. Let's just be honest.
There it is.
There it is.
All right. One of my all-time favorites.
That's so awesome.
But it's a different version, isn't it? Yeah, because the old one has the
928.
Yeah, that's right.
But that was the international one. That was the US version.
Okay.
That's so cool. I'm sorry.
All these individual electric tracks for train.
I actually think the 928 is down here also.
Oh, so we would actually have to roll this shelf to see
there's stuff on the other side.
The older stuff.
Exactly, you're missing the first one.
We have one more shelf to roll.
Yes.
That's my bad. I have failed. Apologize, everybody.
Just go away. It's nothing to see here.
Very boring stuff. Nah. Yeah.
Dang.
The moon landing site.
The 75 one. Yeah. It's a beauty.
So you would replace the heads here with
bricks,
parts that look like the helmets.
I saw a lot of these at stores.
That's pretty cool. I didn't tear the plastic. Wasn't me. Came that way.
Look at this one. Number 1.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is the purpose of this room?
So this is our nearby archive, you could say. You know, for the us who work in the historical department of the Lego Group. it's not a place all employees are allowed to see, but we use it for example, designers. They can be inspired of looking at, you know, what did we do 30 years ago.
Right.
You know, maybe they can sort of be inspired of whatever they're working on at the moment. So,
Okay.
So that's some of the things we use this for.
And it's okay for people. We've had some viewers who were confused about coming down here and touching these things, and this is kind of a working
It's the
archive.
whole purpose of this is we allow you to touch these. We have other archives where you do not touch anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we ready to move on?
Yes.
Did we? All right, look out, moving back.
The Japanese.
There we go.
Yeah, I saw in Berlin.
Yeah, the mini.
Watch your elbow there, Tomas.
Yeah.
There we go.
I remember seeing these, the catalogs. I remember exactly how these looked in the catalogs and thinking, oh, these are so awesome. Goodness. I'm just gonna sneak under.
Oh, yeah. I should move in.
Oh, here's the monorail. We've got the monorail.
Pull it out.
Oh, and the opening flaps.
There, I'll hold
Forget about the opening flaps.
it. You gotta take a picture with your other hand, though.
I will.
Here,
I
I got
will.
it.
Okay, so here we go. I'm taking a picture of you, one with my camera in it, and you'll have to send that to me. Ready? 3,
good.
2, 1. There we go.
All right, you want it open? There it is.
Look at this. This was one of my favorite things about Lego when I was a kid, was being able to open up the
I'm turning
box
it around. Hang on.
and see the product inside. M-Tron. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the first one. Okay, no, there's the
Okay,
base
thank
one
you.
up here.
Oh, yeah. Go for that one next. All right, Boone, you're gonna keep doing double duty for
Yep,
me. I'll
sounds
grab
good.
you photograph. There she is.
Boom. Look at that.
I'll flip it around for you in a second.
Okay.
That's the price on the second market for this set is much cheaper than the airport
Ready?
monorail, yes?
Do you want to look, or you just want a
That is
photo?
correct. Yeah.
So this one you can get
Yeah, you can just take a photo.
Oh, okay.
200 euros, yes.
I don't know what it is in euros, but yeah, something like that. Boom, there's your back shot.
Oh man.
Okay.
This was in catalogs. I had put
Come on, Brett, get in here. Come on.
I had put marks by this in the catalog because I wanted it, and I never had it.
I like it.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
I did, however, have one of these. I still have the pieces to this sitting in my office at home.
Right here.
Yeah, we gotta see that.
There we go. I'm getting my system worked out here. There she is. Look at that.
Wow.
One of the finest sets of like my childhood, I think. I didn't have it, but I wanted it.
I can vouch for that. It is one of the finest sets of his childhood. I wanted it and do have it. All right, put it
Now
around.
let's see the back.
Okay.
So awesome. Loved the magnets and just the play function that came with every single one of those M-Tron sets.
Just realized I misfiled this monorail. That's
Here's
the one
your-
rule. So.
Oh, it was up on top.
It was up
wasn't
on
it?
top here. Well, it's a different year, so that
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense.
Okay. Here, do you want your phone back, or am I?
Oh, well, I'll probably just hand it to you again. But
Okay.
'cause this seems to be a system that's working. So, we good? Everyone ready? All right.
I think we need
Can we do two at a time? I think we probably can.
We got some Islanders in here.
Oh yeah.
so
Some
it'll be there you go.
There we go.
I just
Okay.
want to feel a little.
Aqua Zone.
Oh, I remember this one. I remember this weird packaging.
I'll just lock this over.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
Aqua Zone.
Oh,
The
I-
sharks.
Should be.
Oh.
Oh. This hurt? No. Oh, here's a classic though. Look at this.
I
one.
remember loving these because they reminded me of the spaceships of the time, but they were sharks.
Where's the Barracuda? Did we miss her?
Yeah, that was the aisle you just.
Oh no. Yeah, that's all right. We'll make it work. All right. Here's a good one. All right, Boone.
Fantastic.
This is
Here.
Nautica. First system set over 1,000 pieces. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, why is it sticking?
This was the first system set over 1,000 pieces.
That is correct. And it's stuck.
What is it, tape?
It's the seal. It's oh yeah, there was a piece of tape here.
Yeah, I think it's because I think there's a reason we've sort of sealed it. I'm sorry.
All right, not a problem. I will not force it.
No, exactly.
Great set.
When you break it, you buy it.
Oh, okay. As long as I can get it for 1990 retail price, I will. Don't make that a rule. I'll start breaking seals all over the place.
Exactly.
What else we got back here? Oh, how about the big monorail here?
Oh, the last one.
That was my monorail.
All right, you're making it challenging on me here.
Sweet.
Let's see if I can do this without spilling anything.
Here's, I'll give you some help.
There we go.
Oh,
Look at us.
no.
Boone spilled it.
Spill. You know,
there we go. I'm about to disappear behind.
it's not me if I don't drop
There we
something.
go.
There it is. I got this for Christmas. What year? 94?
I believe it came out in 94, and it lasted for a while. It came out a year before Unitron actually was officially released.
So I may have gotten it
The 94
for
sounds
Christmas
right to me.
in 94 or 95. Oh boy.
This one was awesome.
Thank you. Oh, did you want a picture? Are you okay?
You're fine.
I still have this.
Okay, so that needs to go under.
Yeah, I got it. I got my system now.
Okay, okay.
I got my
And I
system.
think these were
Off to the
also
side.
on
Can
top
you
of.
can you pull them out?
Yeah.
And I'll slide them back.
And they were.
There's one more we need to get a picture of in this aisle. Oh yeah, here she is. Here she is.
Ooh.
All right, this I do want a picture of. Nice.
Fantastic. Sorry.
Skull's eye, baby.
There was like a big glare. There you go.
I'll hold it up for you. There you go.
Does this have a flap that
Yes,
opens?
it does. It's about to open. Just giving everyone time. Largest pirate ship ever made until the 2010 Imperial Flagship.
Now, what made this larger than the Barracuda? Just
They cheated,
more pieces.
actually. Well, it had more pieces. It's
To
the
sort
same
of
number
extend-
of hull components, but you can see on the end here they kind of stuck it out here, and then they stuck it out the back with the little overarching thing with the hanging. Oh, I stayed in Odyssey, man. This is my childhood.
Do you guys want to get? Do you guys want to just sneak back in there? I feel bad.
That way.
If you're done, go that way.
All right.
Should we pull out the Barracuda real quick before we?
Nah, it's
Get
all right.
too
We
far.
got to keep moving. We got to keep moving. We got the skull's eye. It's all good. There we go. Oh, Indian.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. This is for Brett and for Joshua and for.
I've
Who else
I've already
likes
done Legorado.
Nice. Oh yeah, Western. Ooh, I've never actually seen that. What is
I
that?
remember. So it was this,
Oh
this
yeah,
set,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
could
And
play
then you
in
had
the
the little
cardboard.
background. I remember that now.
Would you mind pulling that out?
Not at all.
This was.
That's a weird one.
This was one of my last Christmas present Lego sets,
Lego bricks.
and super weird robot helicopter and robot cat. I mean, I have some affinity for it because I had it, but it's not a. It's oh, and the submarine. The submarine is actually kind of cool. But you could build like 8 different things with it.
There were a few ships up here.
Oh yeah, well these are where it started to go downhill. We don't like those ships as much. Yeah, I do not have much affinity for that one. That set is terrible.
And then the hilarious mess that was Time Cruisers.
I have a special place in my heart for those.
I
though.
do,
This
I
set,
do.
This set was great.
I had this set,
Oh, that's
and
horrible.
I loved it.
It was so much fun to
but
play with.
But it's such a wreck. But it's such a fun wreck.
The beauty
right?
of this was what it let you play, though, because
Right,
you
exactly.
could jump themes
Right.
when you were the kind of kid who wouldn't do that on their own.
Exactly.
And so it was the play possibilities. And at the time,
This was my spaceship.
oh, that's a good one. That's a great.
It was
set.
like an X-wing spaceship, like aliens all in one.
I remember when this model team van came out, and just thinking how amazing that looked. At the time, I remember thinking it looked like a real van.
So, really enthusiastic. Oh yes.
All right, ready?
Emotions.
people cry.
Yes.
Oh boy, we're getting into the ugly
camera
years.
wasn't rolling.
We're
It
getting
might
into
be
the ugly
more
years.
emotional.
I've seen people cry. No problem. So.
Getting into the ugly years. Not that I have opinions about this era.
Go ahead. I feel like I've been hogging the.
Here you go, Brad. Here's a little adventurous for you.
Yes. There's some. Well, those are.
We should be right in there.
We got some Snap here.
Oh, here they are, Brad. Here you go. Here's what you've been looking for.
Yes.
There it is.
Rock
You want me to
Raiders.
hold it or you want to do the honors?
Oh yeah.
Yes. There you go. All yours.
I remember these big chrome pieces with the Rock Raiders. Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Johnny Thunder and crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is what started to happen here. Less detail, juniorization, printing instead of parts, big pieces.
Can't quite reach down there. So, thank you.
I'll happily handle it again.
Oh, I remember this train. We missed it on the last row, but I gotta show it here because I loved it. Or maybe we didn't miss it. I already showed it, and I loved it so much, I'm compelled to show it again.
So that was Bon Baron in the plane.
Baron Von Baron, and then Sam Sinister was this
Yes.
guy.
The crazy remote control car with the printed Jaguar pieces.
Those were printed? They weren't stickers?
This one and this one were printed.
Ah.
This is a sticker.
Oh, and this was when Mindstorms came out. We had all those expansion packs. Windows 95, baby.
So where do we find that?
Find what?
The
The Spider-Man
yeah.
should be
next.
in the next one.
2000, 2002-ish range.
The Spider-Man
So
guy.
the set that was never released is in here somewhere.
Or is it this one?
I don't know.
2001, 2002.
I think it might be over there.
2.0. This is the birth of Star Wars here.
We've got Star Wars with yellow faces and old grays.
Oh, here it is. Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at this. This is interesting. This is just like almost like a shoebox type box. I've never seen a Lego box like that before.
There he is!
Beyond the break!
You're here!
Oh my goodness, good to see you again!
Oh, you're catching us here at the turn of the century.
Oh, this is great. This is 2001. All the important things are coming right now. Oh, glad we came right now. 2000, this is the awesome year. So maybe we could go on.
Alright, we ready?
Yeah, now it's...
Watch your hands and elbows. Oh boy, Galador. Oh boy. Everyone, hold your lunch in.
Yeah, now it's really interesting here.
This is when they did all the
You're not filming? No, not filming.
I know we have Galador fans in our audience because we always seem to end up talking about it. Here's the TDM module.
I'm Joshua Hanlon, and this is my favorite set. Oh, do it this way.
That's the re-release.
There she is.
I'm Joshua.
Nice.
This is the favorite set of Mastermind.
What do you love about it,
Joshua.
Joshua?
Hanlon. He told me last year, so it should be the same. And there's a second version of it.
This is the second version, yeah.
This is the second version, yeah.
So here we got Nick.
Oh man,
The-
Alpha Team.
The guy who played Nick in Galador and I follow each other on Twitter.
Speak English
Here it
or
is,
German?
Boone. We can redeem ourselves for our earlier mess.
Okay, the re-release.
There it is.
Barracuda.
Spannend. Der neue
So
Stein.
box says Legend. Were there any differences in the build?
Yes, I don't remember what they were, but there are a couple of differences. There were a couple of parts that were no longer produced that they had to swap out. But I do not remember off the top of my head what they were.
Somebody in the comments will know.
Daniel, what's this?
Okay, studios.
This is the big minifigure. So this was back when Lego was throwing anything up against the wall to see if it would stick. So they experimented with brick-built figures. And they did these weird black and white boxes. I don't know why. But it's this guy. That's what this is. Yep, hang on. So he's over here in the corner.
Brett, I don't see the Spider-Man set.
Might be the next lane over. We might still be a little early for Spider-Man.
For studios.
Studio.
There was a Studios Spider-Man.
Oh wait, no, here we go. No, this was released. These were all released. Here's your Studios Spider-Man sets. Goblin.
We're looking for the.
That one was released.
No, that's not it.
What's the second to the bottom one there? It's the wrestling ring.
Oh, with the yeah. Let's see. Oh, Jack Stone.
It's gonna be a mystery. It was here last year and isn't anymore.
That's Christian.
Ob den Baumeister nicht gegeben hätte.
I'm not seeing anything. Oh, the Darth Maul bust. That was another thing they experimented with.
Cool. Thank you. Excuse me? You know everything. Is this the first Duplo license set?
No.
No.
No, the first Duplo license was Winnie the Pooh in '99.
All right. So I'm too late.
So you do, but you do know. Clever.
He knows everything. Just asking everything.
That's.
By the way, I love that Winnie the Pooh Duplo figure is money. We're going up to do the group photo. So did he say he thought we might be able to come back down?
I think so. Don't tell John that I'm late, okay?
I think he's gonna see the video.
Oh, because I promised him that we do this together, you know? Maybe you could just start in 2000,
Just
you know?
start in 2000 and end in
totally fine.
2002.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
Because he sent me a mail, hey, could you be involved with my buddies? I say, yeah, sure I can, but no. Other things have been more important for me. So
Okay, now we're headed down for part 2 of the vault.
Down there, you know, because of the space, but we will do something.
So, Christian, do you know about the Studios Spider-Man wrestling ring set? There was word that it was down here last year.
Yeah, I think so. It should be here. I can't remember, you know, it's... I can't... 2002. Do you remember the launch?
Well, we heard it was 2002.
2002.
So were we not there yet when we left?
Yeah, you were. I think you were there.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure it's not 3, maybe? Because
so I didn't see it in that stack
no,
of
you have looked
studios. We looked in that stack of studios.
Maybe we should
okay.
try the
next
well, we're ready to move on anyway, right?
Yep.
But it should be down there.
So Christian, I've heard that you are one of the most knowledgeable about Lego sets. So.
That's kind words, I think, but I know a little.
Okay. Well, you certainly have seemed to know your stuff since we've been here.
Alright, Boone, here's a few more Spider-Man sets.
Well, so it was a studio set.
And it was
so,
small.
And it was fairly small.
Oh, this is the basketball era.
When it was strange, I remember it was on this side. Like they turned it right and picked it up.
Yeah, you're too far over here now.
And green.
I think we missed it. I think it's
How long did Lego produce
This was, I remember this
face plates?
was interesting when it
Yeah,
came
so
out.
this was one of the last sets to use this particular base plate, and it came with the big golden dragon, which is unique because Lego did a new tail for the standard dragon. Never got used again, so it's a really rare part.
That's fantastic.
Chrome face.
Do you want to go ahead?
Didn't know anything.
Tomas, get in here. Come take a look. Oh, the re-release version of this.
Harry Potter. Excuse me.
Old school. That's so cool.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's interesting, you know, watching the transition from vehicles 4 wide to 6.
Oh, yeah.
So, hier haben wir den ersten Hogwarts Express.
Hogwarts Express.
The first one, the first official Lego Harry Potter Hogwarts Express.
What do you think this is?
The old minifigures, the first ones. And here we go. This is, and I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I know everything about it. But this actually
I had to
is.
guess. I think I'm.
Oh, this is interesting. There's another.
If I had to guess, the Kabuya, whatever submarine ideas, the first when it was still the old platform.
What is going on here? Is this the Hogwarts Castle?
I don't remember. We're in what? 2000? Oh, this is too early.
And this is another. This is the same train, right? So there have been 2 sets.
Oh no, this is this was the
Interesting.
giveaway. It's a it's polybag.
Is this a Hogwarts Castle?
Package with
I don't
the
know.
Kabaya suite.
Is this what do we have here?
What about it?
What is it?
What's your question?
It's not heavy.
Oh, this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm
No,
just kidding.
this is the second Hogwarts
It's
Harry
the
Potter
Hogwarts.
set. Yeah, so this is the second generation one.
But it looks different than
It was. So what they did was the main thing they switched is they went with the more movie accurate dark gray roofs instead of the green. So in the original one, they were all the big specialty green roof pieces,
Oh, right.
which is actually a miss. It was a poorly colored reference photo, concept photo from the first movie that they got sent. So the designers thought the roofs were green, and they actually aren't in the film. It's just the drain spouts that are actually green. So that was a miss, but it became kind of iconic to the fans, so they kept it in some way, shape, or form in all the later sets.
And this is the first Hogwarts Express, and
No,
you could
that's the second one. That's the,
The
first
second one.
motorized Hogwarts Express.
Okay,
so
we
that's
have
the
one
only
other
one
here.
that was motorized.
with one other here.
The first one was in 2001.
It's in.
Yep, that's
Ah,
correct.
alright.
It came out with the initial wave, and it wasn't motorized. It was just push along. This is the first one that was designed to
But
run on
it's
the track.
the same layout, or it's a different layout?
It's just a circular layout. So this was the first and only one to have track. Am I right on that, Christian? Only one to have track?
Oh, I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's the only one to have track, but this is absolutely the only one to be motorized. So they, so you can see here it came with the old train
9 volt.
regulator, 9 volt. Yep. This was actually a pretty crazy year for Harry Potter because they had that, and they also had the Shrieking Shack. It's the only time it was ever
There's
immortalized in
the
the
other
brick.
train.
Yeah, they had a non-motorized version as well because this one was so expensive.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was more like the old one. So you can see the wheels aren't even designed to go on track. I mean, they can go on track, but it's the just the standard wheels without tires.
Ah, all right.
Yep. So that was for if people didn't want to spend the money on this because this was fairly expensive.
All right.
And then this one was unique because it came with this, because the gimmick in this movie is that they changed from animals back to humans. And so this kind of accomplished that. I can't believe Lego produced it. It's a pretty
Is
expensive
this a
looking
spoiler?
piece.
Did you just tell me?
Spoiler, sorry, spoiler alert for
Oh my goodness! I haven't seen the
2004
movies.
movie.
I
I
have-
blew it. I blew it.
You just. This is a spoiler.
Go ahead.
I have
Just,
to watch the movies and read the books.
go ahead. Just squish me in. That's fine. I earned it. I
Goodness,
deserve
my
it.
goodness. I know.
Blocks is here, doing everything.
That's right.
Look at Block's about man.
I said it was me. I didn't say it was Block. Everyone clear? Elbows, hands. Ah, you were right, Chris. There it is. That's the one we were talking about this morning that I was thinking of.
Yeah. Although I noticed on the last album, the Williams F1 that I included that list is also a racist one.
Ah, okay.
So I guess that shouldn't disqualify it early. But anyway.
Oh, here's a really rare one.
The Hogwarts Castle, the new one.
Ah, they went with pink that year. It was
I
fabulous.
think this is more original than in the movie. So it's a fine choice of colors here.
It was Hermione's new look.
It's great. Good franchise.
So this is super rare.
I had it was a toss between that and the Viking boat.
Oh yeah, this one was probably more rare than the Viking boat.
Yeah, I went with the Viking boat.
Yeah, that was a good call. So only time you could get that
Is that actually
Thai
go,
prototype.
go for a lot of money now?
What?
Does that go for a lot of money now? This
I
one?
don't know.
Uh,
It shouldn't because
Yeah.
these were all regular sets
Yeah.
back in the old days with the blue ties. There's the first UCS Y-wing back there.
Let's see that.
Want to see the first UCS Y-wing?
Yeah.
Grab it, Tomas. Pull it out there for me.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Definitely a big difference between the two.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
No, it wasn't, but the figures were good. I can't believe that crane is that old. I'd forgotten that was that long ago already. I forgot that one, guy.
You're getting old.
I am getting old. That is absolutely true. I keep getting reminded of it. Yeah, I was interviewing one of the guys today, and he said that when that it's now as far from when Harry Potter first came out as it was when Star Wars came out when the first sets came out. Like we're that far. That made me feel really old.
I love all the street sweepers throughout the years.
I have this one.
That's a great little collection of like $7 sets.
Yep, I have that.
That's a good one.
Awesome. Tiny sets. I'm missing these sets.
Oh, the old.
Do we have two of
Ooh,
those?
Burlington Northern.
Do we have two of those?
Nope.
So this is the only one.
Well,
The Santa Fe Super Chef.
We have
somewhere.
we should have one more or maybe even a few more other.
So you don't need this set?
Yes, we
Any?
do.
Okay.
Do you know where I wasn't hired for my knowledge of the history. I'm hired because I run fast. So if you try to steal that, I will hunt you
and
down.
jokes.
I will just put it back. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. So if we need it.
It is a very cool set.
If you do decide to run with it, though, let us know so he can film it when he takes you down.
All right.
This has tracking.
It's GPS in all these sets, right? So you can
Exactly.
burst into our homes in the dead of
I gotta
night.
show this. This is the iconic. This is the train line that runs through my hometown,
Is the Santa Fe in this
Burlington
row?
Northern Santa Fe.
The Santa Fe would have been before that.
Yeah, I think so.
So if we
But I'm not sure it's.
Lovely train.
I'm not sure we have that many.
Yeah, it's
I can't remember. I don't.
Did you say there were 7,000 or 8,000 sets down here?
I think so. Yes. I think so.
the product line is over 10,000 now.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Doesn't seem like that big of a space, but I guess it's very efficiently stored.
Exactly. Exactly.
What's also interesting is just the visual of we started in what 1960 something, and here we are all the way to 2008, which is only 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is basically the halfway point.
Yeah.
You can just see the dramatic increase in the number of products produced.
The very first aisle you started in, it spans 10 years.
Yeah. Duplo was hot this year.
Here, I'm just gonna dive all the way in and then. Oh, Batman! Although not particularly cool, Batman.
Oh, come on, that set was pretty good. For its time,
There we
it was
go.
amazing.
There we go. Love that.
We didn't find the Spider-Man.
No, we never did. Oh, Exo-Force, Wave 1.
Come on.
What a weird theme that was.
This is maybe the worst Lego airport ever.
I'll back you on that. I'll back you on that.
So we put it back.
Yeah, let's put it back. Don't get me wrong, we'd still take it if they let us, but...
Oh!
this is very
Look what is happening
interesting.
here. What is happening here?
Oh, look
Here
at this
we go.
train. Has this train been re-released?
Not re-released,
or is
but
it
it's
just-
been remade. This is the one the 2 years ago Winter Train was based on. This is a unique one because it was a real oddity at the time, and it came and went really fast, and almost no one bought it. And it was a full several years before the Holiday Village set started coming out, and then it became really popular in the aftermarket. But there was so few, you could sell that for like $400 back in the day. Old Viking sets. The wheels? Oh, new. Oh, the font.
What do you got there?
The Death Star,
This is-
baby.
Oh,
The best Death Star Lego of all time.
oh man, look at that.
And we don't have it at home. This is a cool set.
It is.
I love
I'm gonna see
the
the.
I love the sort of old
So these
school
are fascinating.
stripe around the outside of the packaging.
Yeah, so these are the massive dinos. But what's interesting is this is the European variant, and because of cultural differences, this is one of the only Lego themes where the sets released are dramatically different. So the US versions all have weapons. This one has a giant turret with like a 8-inch long gun on it. And this one, all of these variants, they have capture instead of kill. It's one of the only themes. Christian, correct me if I'm wrong here. One of the only themes to have dramatic differences between the two, because it was Dino Attack, even a different name in the US, and they all had weapons. So like this one here has a, this one was really different. This has a whole winch system and ramp that you pull this up onto it. In the US version, it's a giant turret with a spring-loaded launcher that you could shoot little darts off of it. Yeah. But the dinosaurs were really cool. Biggest dinos ever made. That weren't brick built.
What do you got there, Thomas?
I really wanted this. Wanted this one. I like that one.
Und eine Sache noch für dich. Lego Mindstorms. First one.
Look at this thing.
Yeah, the last of the factory sets. It was kind of weird.
Technique?
Yeah.
It's a little bit different from the new one. Just a bit.
Oh, it's not closed. Not every box is sealed downstairs. Because you've removed some parts.
No.
No. Okay.
It's not all.
Yeah. Slide the center behind you. You're fine. I bumped you.
Depends on, you know.
Bob the Baumeister.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Bob the Baumeister.
Yeah.
I'll hold it. Now that is the box art right there. Yeah. They're not compatible because one of them's in regular brown and one of them's in
Yeah,
When we
Mars
talk about
Mission.
the favorite sets of John Hannon. Here we go. It's Belville. He told me last year that he collect all of those. I think, if I remember correctly here, and John is a big fan of the figures here, and the horses, what is going on, the color scheme. So, yeah, this is, and here's the big one. I'm sorry. So here we go. This is the stuff John is really into. So this is Belville.
Oh, but there's some treasures.
Let's see, what Batmobile do we have in this year?
Want to place a guess? Which
A
one do you
tumbler.
think? It's pretty much a whole row of treasures.
And sounds like there's something interesting going on over here.
Here we go. We gotta pull all these down, so I'll pull them down one at a time. Grab your pictures.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, there she is. There she is.
Worst set ever.
Yeah, we'll take it off your hands. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Oh God, you can't have it out.
You send the cracks SEAL team to get us if we take that, right?
tried to
Oh,
rebuild it,
the
but-
original. Good Lord, that's heavy.
Nobody is interested in this one.
Not as much
Can you just turn
anymore.
around for a second?
Oh, yep.
No, there you go.
I had you covered, Boone. I didn't forget about you back there.
Sunday afternoon right there.
It's in such a smaller box.
There's a lot fewer pieces, as bizarre as that is to say. All right, there's one more we got to pull out here. Everyone knows what that one is. This one.
No.
I want that one. Objectively, not the greatest set in the world, but if you're a completist, gotta have it.
I have to have it.
Try this one.
Gotta have it.
Every module loves
Sold that one.
fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like it in some way. I don't know why.
All right. Oh, Mars mission.
Oh, there's the Taj down there.
Yeah, that's
I have still the two drills out there. I managed to do some things.
Lego piece
I like to spend a lot of money.
Do you like those, Tomas?
It's quite a lot. I like the 1x8, like $3. But
Yeah.
try to build the green, the cafe corner is right.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult because I spent so much
Yeah,
time
there
to
was an
choose the
older
right
one that
colors.
was part of the Aqua Zone,
So it,
where it was just one
it's the
word.
right
It was the
thing.
third
And when you use
faction
tan
in
instead of
Aqua Zone.
red, and it doesn't look that good.
No.
Alright, you want me to hold them up for you?
Yes.
Headed for 1 year.
We'll just go right down the line.
The screwdriver.
The real winners here. Oh, there it is.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Woo!
Yeah.
There she is. There she is. Alright. And this one, remember this one?
Yes, I would like that one too.
It's a good one. I can vouch for that.
The 50 years.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, here's a rarity. That one.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't there like 500 of that one? I know it was limited.
It was limited.
I feel like it was like 500, like not a lot. I've seen one for sale.
I would buy my own maybe.
That's fine.
In the store.
Alright,
creeps
we're
through
ready
here.
to. Oh, that one doesn't move. Let's open her up just a little bit more. All the original Indiana Jones ones there. I know those aren't the original.
Yes,
This is odd. Why are there so many of these? I remember there being this many in the third wave of Extra Force. I guess I'm wrong.
this is really cool Creator 3-in-1 set, which I didn't own.
I
But-
actually had that one. Actually, Chris, I lied. This is actually.
He's the man. Also nice BNC model. So you get a really, this is what is the Creator all about. You've got 3 good looking sets with the same parts, so you can build one at a time, but it's great. All the details, it's fun.
No, that was the Racers line. So
I always point
that
to
was
the
kind of first.
point to the windscreen.
What's going on there?
You know, as a very good example
remember
of
that.
reuse elements.
The old fantasy era castle.
But you know where they are when they're out there.
This was like the best year for Star Wars Clone Wars. These were such solid models.
Which of these do you think is the best? Can you just point out one that's
So
particularly good?
yeah, I can. Let me
Of course. It should be.
that one. I'm trying to find the. Oh, this one. So this was the second
Oh, yeah.
generation, and it's just so solid. Like it still remains the biggest, most detailed. Had so many different features. You could pull this open. There was weapons storage in there, back to tank, the dual. There, great selection of minifigures, and the price was unbelievable. This was the magic 2 years where we were coming off of the flirtation with bankruptcy, so trying to regain market share. So prices were slashed. So it was the best parts to piece ratio of all time was these 2 years.
History. This is interesting for me. We're beginning of the Lego architecture line here.
Oh, is that the first one?
Yeah.
The Empire State Building. And
so much plainer back there.
John Hanlon Center here. John Hanlon. I'm not. Oh, I'm sorry. John Hancock Center. I'm sorry. I forgot my glasses upstairs. It's great to see. And I think Joshua loves Lego Bionicle. He's telling me all the time that he's.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Cut everything out.
The last of the original Batman series based on a Christopher Nolan film.
What I'm really missing here, if I may interrupt you for a second, I'm missing those tiny sets, like Mars Mission. I mean, this is kind of crap, but to be honest, it was fun as a kid that you could buy such smaller sets for.
Pocket money.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is
Yeah.
it really
This was fun.
it's polybags used to be in boxes.
Yes, but
It's-
I remember when I was a child, when I go to a shop, I bought some of those. Not Mars Mission, whatever, but other ones like City, and we had those small sets, boxes, and they are better than polybags in my opinion.
They're super glossy boxes, aren't they?
Yeah.
So weird.
This was a fun one. The ball from the old Orient Express sets. That's a solid one too. Solid set.
Where'd they go back to?
By the way, Spongebob in German is Spongebob.
SpongeBob.
Spongebob. Spawns.
Do we want to keep going, or are we starting to get too modern here that we all remember these?
Keep going.
Keep going. All right. We shall. Oh, more. Oh. There she is.
Last year I told you that I missed this train. Right now, I have it at home.
Nice. How much did it cost you?
The reader told me that he have one she didn't need anymore, so very good price. I'm a lucky man. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
And right here we have Falling Water, which I missed too. I don't know why. Because it was somehow expensive back in the days when I was a student, but it's a really nice set. One of the best architecture sets in the beginning, where they use different colors also. Not only white, here tan, green, brown. So for the water, those tile elements. This is a really great set in my opinion. And I miss it, which is bad. You need it? Okay, the same answer. I just try.
Christian, what is the primary method by which these sets are acquired?
You know, whenever a new set is released, we get in the Lego Group archives gets 6 copies, and then we store them in different locations. But of course, the old ones, that's you know, we started to have historical department in 1990. So before that, you know, it's more tricky. Then it's, you know, you're out looking yourself, and of course also people donating sets to us, you know, cleaning up an old attic and oh, look what we found, you know, stuff like that. So it's very, you know, different ways of getting them.
Correct.
Of course, we had
so
some
it didn't
of them
run
also,
very smoothly.
Sure.
It was like one of the first times that they actually attempted
kept
to.
their
Look at
own
the
sort
year,
of
right?
small
2009,
archives.
almost 10 years ago. The number of elements.
But that's before my time, so I don't quite know how all sets
the size
got
of it
here.
is
But
just only time
thank you.
48 by 48 base plate appeared in green.
Okay.
The first
Am I right on that?
carousel
sorry,
with the
I didn't.
Only
music
time
brick.
48 by 48 base
and
plate
what is
in green.
important here,
Yeah, I think you're right.
that we have power functions included in the box. You buy this, you've got all the fun. Yeah, awesome. But it didn't work so smooth as you mentioned, and I've read also. I haven't bought this one or built it, but it's beauty. It's a beauty.
If you try to buy it now, you're gonna pay an arm and a leg.
I missed that one when I started working here in 10, and it was still, you know,
Slide in underneath there.
available when I started
Get it
working.
under, and then I'll set her back
I didn't
down.
get it.
Oh, we will show one more, because this is actually the beginning of the Zusammengebaut. Because this guy was filming, and some other guys gave me this as a present. Because the story is that I bought the town hall for a friend of mine for his wedding. And it stood there for about 3 months in my room. I won't buy a set for 180 euro, I won't do it. And then I was sad that the set was gone. The marriage was fine, they're still a couple, so the set is there. And then Matthias and others gave me this as a present, because it was out of life and it was just in time. And when you buy one modular building, you have a big problem. And now for nearly everyone, and this is the first one, and then I began to write about Lego for Zusammengebaut. Okay. Perfect.
97.
Oh, very good set. And then the problem with one modular is if you buy one,
Yes.
you have to buy them all.
That's the story.
I think this
And
one's
Lego knew about it.
dirty, rotten scoundrels. One of them's locked. Which one's locked?
Some music because of
Right now.
Okay. Ready to go here. If there are people out there, dear Beyond the Brick viewers, if you didn't own this set, where's the bird? There, I'm sorry. Please, is this still out there or is it in the end of life? No, it's out there, right? This one? It's gone. It's gone. Okay, it's too late. We don't. Okay, it's too late. But buy it if you can, but it's gone. Okay, I thought it's still out there. Really? Are you sure? Sure. It's for Beyond the Brick. John told me I should tell some crazy. Okay.
It's gone. It's gone.
on fire. Whew. This is not looking good. I mean, no.
Compared to what we have now. Yeah, I think. Oh, here's the Volkswagen. Is this when the Volkswagen came out?
Yes, this the year of the release.
And the Maersk.
And the Maersk train, of course, and the first 2 boxes
Oh my goodness.
of the collectible minifigures. The beginning of another madness, because when you have one figure, in the beginning I thought this way, if you have one figure you have to own every figure, but these days I think I can buy a few, but there are so many new series out there. But as you see, there have been kind of involvement too, because in some ways they're more simple than the year one, because we see some new molds also. But especially this series is really cool. I think it's even better than the first one. And I'm glad that I own the clown, which is one of the coolest minifigures of all time. Mm-hmm. We could show this one. Should I manage to do it?
Yeah, I
I
think
will
so.
try. Okay. I already told you about this one, the pet shop, which is gone, I was told. This was fine. I mean, we've seen many of those in the last years, but it's fine, I would say. But here we go. This isn't a Star Destroyer. This isn't a Super Star Destroyer. Which is still an awesome looking set, and there are rumors out there, just rumors, that there could be a release of this iconic set in the future, like we've seen the Millennium Falcon again. And this is big, and it's still a beauty. It's a cool set. Oh, and there's another one. Okay. If you're talking about Lego architecture sets, I missed this one too, and I'm not pretty sure. Am I right that this wasn't released in every region of the... Oh, I'm sorry, he's too far away. This wasn't available everywhere, right? Just in some regions, right?
I can't remember.
We thought that you know everything about Lego.
Yeah, well, I don't. But I just can't remember.
But are you with me when I tell you some architecture sets have been available only in some regions?
Yeah, I think that's yes.
Yeah.
I think a few of them has at some point only been available at the place. You know,
Yeah.
it was the building. It was showing something like that.
Anyway, this is a great set with nice and some rare pieces in it. So, if you have this one, we're talking about 2,276 bricks as an architecture set in 2010. Come on, we have to show the master. I mean, this is something. We're talking about Emerald Night Express. This is the Merce train. And this was the special color. The color is gone, and that's why it's difficult to build this train if you just would like to buy the parts. And it's still also a great playset. The hope that we will see more trains in the future. I hope so.
We're gonna stop there. We saw some really great stuff in this, like 2010. Everything else is gonna be pretty familiar with us. You're gonna keep going, right? You guys are gonna stay here and keep going?
No.
Oh, okay. We're all
Because
leaving.
this is all the new stuff we already know. But it was fun talking to you.
Fun talking to you.
Fun!
All right, Christian. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you coming down here and telling us all your knowledge.
My pleasure.
Thank you all for watching.
Bye.
Have a good one.